On the 2nd of October 2022, Kyron Lee was ran over on his bike by a car that was stolen. The occupants of the car then got out and chased him down and stabbed him to death. Police received reports at 8:50 p.m. to a male that was seriously injured in Waterman Court in the Cippenham area. The police attended, where they established that Kyron, who was a 21-year-old male, had been in a collision with a car on Earls Lane. After the collision, 4 men got out of the car and chased him down and killed him. After 2 years, Thames Valley Major Crime Unit has managed to gather enough evidence to convict everybody they believe is involved. There has been several trials, and this is the latest. On the 11th of October at Reading Crown Court, Elias Almallah, 22 years old from Slough, was sentenced to life in prison to serve a minimum of 24 years. Mohammed Abdullah, 22 years old from Slough, was sentenced to 17 years. He pleaded guilty to conspiracy to cause GBH with intent on the 7th of August last year. Hamzi Almallah, 29 years old from Slough, also was sentenced to 2 years and 8 months for assisting an offender. Hamid Ghaffar, 20 years old from Portsmouth, was sentenced to 2 years that was suspended and ordered to complete 130 hours of community service after he also pled guilty to assisting an offender. Brian Risaho also received the same sentence for the same offence. The police said in the case that Almallah and 3 others, Khalid Nur, Mohammed Elgamri and Yaqhub Mussa, exited the car and chased Kyron into Waterman Court, where he was fatally attacked and left to die. A man called Fras Seedahmed was driving the vehicle. Paramedics from the South Central Ambulance Service attended, and tragically Kyron was pronounced dead at the scene at 9:45 p.m. Abdullah was involved in the preparation, they said, for the attack, and he met with the group shortly beforehand. He fled the UK to the Netherlands after the attack and was extradited back in January 2023. Ghaffar and Visalho provided accommodation to Seedahmed and Elgamri and helped them to evade police when they attended the accommodation to arrest them in relation to the murder. Almallah was also assisted by his brother Elias in regards to paying for a flight to Madrid shortly after the murder and accompanying him to Spain to ensure that he could evade police. The senior investigating officer, Detective Inspector Mike Roddy, said the sentencing of these 5 men are a conclusion to the case following the death of Kyron Lee in Slough in 2022. I know no sentence will ever be complete solace for Kyron's family, but I hope that the fact that this case has concluded and 11 men have been brought to justice, and between them they will serve a long time in prison.
Thames Valley Police, what's your emergency?
We've got somebody who's been stabbed here.
Is the person moving?
We don't know. We just heard some noise and there's loads of blood on the floor, so we need somebody to be here. I don't think he's breathing at the moment, but I mean the blood is everywhere in front of all the house and everything. So
what we quickly established was that Kyron had been cycling in Earls Lane nearby with a friend when he was struck by a VW Golf. He tried to run away but was set upon by 4 males with machetes who attacked him and then left him for dead. First and foremost, the family liaison officers were critical, not just to gather evidence for us, but also to gain the trust of the family and keep them updated throughout and make sure that they felt central to the investigation. And they did play a central role in the information that they gave us that helped lead to the suspects. The forensics were incredibly important, particularly around the vehicle that it was stolen, but we managed to get forensics back on the car, DNA and fingerprints, which identified some of the suspects who were involved and that gave us a really strong link. CCTV was absolutely critical. That covered a number of areas. It wasn't just centred in Slough, but took us into London and Portsmouth as well. Our analysts played a massive role, and that was around looking at the phone data that we had, the communication between the suspects, and also analysing their handsets as well. And one handset in particular was an absolute goldmine for evidence for us. The search teams as well, they covered vast areas of Slough, and working with the analysts and the CCTV team, we were able to recover one of the murder weapons as well.
On July the 20th of this year at Reading Crown Court, Khalid Nur, 22 years old from Slough, was sentenced to life in prison to serve a minimum of 26 years. Mohammed Elgamri, 20 years old from Windsor, was jailed for life to serve a minimum of 25 years. A jury found him also guilty of murder. Yaqhub Mussa, 23 years old from Slough, was sentenced to life in prison for murder to serve a minimum of 23 years and 9 months. Fras Seedahmed, 19 years old, was sentenced to life in prison for a minimum of 23 years after being also found guilty of murder. On the 27th of October 2023, Ahmed Hussain, 24 years old from Slough, was sentenced to 4 years for assisting an offender, and Khalid Nur, 27 years old from Slough, was sentenced to a year in prison suspended for also assisting an offender. So this story is a sad reminder of how you can just throw your life away. One decision that you make, getting in the car with your friends to go and sort out some beef that you think you've got, and that can result in the death of somebody and you spending the rest of your adult life in prison. So really look forward to hearing what the viewers have to say on this story. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and follow on social media as well at Scarcity Studios, and I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Peace.